The story unfolds in a time when a deadly virus is spread across the entire world. Humanity is no longer in control. Zombies have taken their place. Yet, even in this dark reality, there remains a fragile hope that might save mankind. The story begins with the introduction of a young girl named Melanie. She is locked inside a prison-like cell, and as the sound of soldiers approaching echoes through the corridor, she quickly sits down on a wheelchair kept nearby. Two soldiers enter, securing her arms, legs, and head tightly with belts attached to the chair. Once restrained, Melanie is wheeled outside. There, we see many other children like herself, all being escorted by soldiers to attend classes. This place is not an ordinary school. It is a military base filled with officers and guarded children. When the children are brought into the classroom, a teacher named Helen arrives. She's responsible for educating them. And among all the children, Melanie stands out as the most intelligent, unique, and special. After class ends, the children are taken back to their cells. Although they appear calm, they're never left unrestrained, either locked inside their cells, tied down, or constantly kept under gunpoint. Even their meals are unusual. They're served living insects, which the children eat eagerly. The next day in class, the children are asked to write their own stories. When Helen invites someone to share, Melanie raises her hand and begins to narrate the story she has written. Helen listens with admiration, deeply impressed by Melanie's imagination. She already favors Melanie more than the others, recognizing her extraordinary nature. After the story, Helen approaches Melanie and gently places her hand on the girl's head with affection. At that moment, Sergeant Parks enters the room. He sternly tells Helen that she touched Melanie's face. Helen clarifies that she only placed her hand on her head. Parks warns her that even this is dangerous. He then cleans his hand, revealing that he uses a special cream to mask the human scent from the children. To demonstrate, Parks places his hand in front of another child. Within seconds, the child transforms. His teeth begin to chatter, his body grows tense, and he reacts aggressively as if ready to attack Parks. Soon, almost every child in the class responds in the same violent manner. Parks calmly reapplies the cream to his hand, restoring control, and then leaves the classroom. After the class ends, Melanie is taken back to her cell. Sergeant Parks arrives there as well. With a cold and harsh tone, Melanie says that if she had a box containing all the demons of this world, she would lock Sergeant Parks inside it too, and seal the lid forever. Hearing Melanie's words, the sergeant flares up in anger. Instead of releasing her restraints, he leaves Melanie tied to the chair and walks away without a word. Later that night, Helen passes by and notices that Melanie is still strapped tightly to the chair inside her cell. Helen calls out for the soldiers, but no one responds. Left with no choice, she enters the cell herself and begins to unfasten Melanie's arms and legs. As Helen leans closer, the natural scent of her body reaches Melanie, triggering an uncontrollable reaction. Melanie struggles to resist, trying desperately to maintain control, but the urge overwhelms her. Melanie, realizing the danger, shouts at Helen to stop and asks her to leave. In that moment, Melanie lunges toward Helen in a sudden attack. Helen manages to escape the cell just in time and lock the door. She immediately applies the special cream to her hands and face, masking her human scent so that Melanie calms down once again. The next morning, Sergeant Parks once again enters Melanie's cell. This time, instead of taking her to the classroom, he leads her outside. Beyond the iron fences, countless zombies are gathered. These creatures are known as hungries. Soldiers stationed at the base continuously fire at them, trying to keep the threat under control. It is revealed that this is the era when a parasitic fungus has spread across the earth. Because of this infection, humans have transformed into beings without thought or reason, and whenever a hungry bites someone, that person also becomes one of them. Melanie is then taken into a laboratory. There, she notices a bottle containing a child's brain, marked with the number 13. She realizes that this child was once part of her class, but no longer attends. His brain has been tested here, meaning he is no longer alive. Inside the lab, Dr. Caroline and her assistant prepare to inject Melanie with a sedative. Before they can proceed with an operation on her brain, Helen arrives. She picks up a cylinder and insists that Melanie must be released. Dr. Caroline tries to reason with Helen, but Helen refuses to listen. The doctor distracts Helen with her words, and at that moment, two soldiers enter and restrain Helen. Dr. Caroline explains that she has considered Helen's concerns countless times, but she is working to create a vaccine, and for that, her experiments are necessary. Melanie is taken away, but suddenly, a group of hungries attack the facility from outside. During the chaos, Dr. Caroline's assistant is bitten and quickly transforms into a zombie. Dr. Caroline flees, while Melanie remains tied to the bed. The assistant, now a hungry, does not notice Melanie. This is because zombies can only detect humans through the natural scent of their bodies. Melanie, being one of them, does not emit that human scent. As a result, the transformed assistant cannot sense her presence. Melanie somehow manages to escape from the lab. As she steps outside, she sees chaos everywhere. Hungries are attacking soldiers, and the soldiers are firing back desperately. In the midst of this, Melanie spots Helen, who is still being restrained by two army officers. When Helen struggles to break free, the officers turn violent and begin to attack her. Melanie cannot bear to watch this. She rushes forward, attacking both men, biting their necks in fury. But the effort overwhelms her, and she collapses unconscious. Helen quickly lifts Melanie into her arms, surrounded by danger on all sides. Just as more hungries are about to strike, an army vehicle arrives. Helen carries Melanie into the truck. Inside, Dr. Caroline is already seated, continuing her mission to create a vaccine, while Sergeant Parks drives. A swarm of zombies chase after them, but the vehicle speeds away, leaving the creatures far behind. After some distance, Sergeant Parks notices Melanie in the back of the truck. He raises his gun, intending to kill her, fearing that if she bites anyone, they too will become a hungry. Before he can pull the trigger, Helen steps in front of Melanie, shielding her. Helen insists that Melanie must be spared, as she forces Parks to lower his weapon. Helen then removes Melanie from the truck, and Melanie sits a short distance away. Meanwhile, Dr. Caroline argues that Melanie is essential. She is a subject whose biology could help in creating a cure. Melanie is restrained once again, her hands tied behind her back, a mask placed over her face, and she is seated on top of the vehicle as they continue their journey. As they travel further, the group needs water and stops near a river. Suddenly, a large group of hungries attack. One soldier is brutally assaulted by a zombie, and Parks kills the creature. However, the bitten soldier begins to transform. Parks orders him to stay outside the truck, and within moments, he fully turns into a hungry. Parks is forced to end his life. The group, shaken, tries to leave quickly, but when Parks attempts to restart the vehicle, it fails. Left with no choice, they continue on foot. Eventually, they reach the city. Supplies are urgently needed, so Parks and another soldier scout the area. Through binoculars, they see countless hungries standing motionless, frozen in a dormant state. Parks instructs everyone to apply the special cream to mask their human scent, to remain silent, and to move quietly on tiptoe through the crowd. Following his orders, they carefully make their way past the creatures and reach an abandoned building, completely deserted and eerie. Melanie is restrained once again, seated across from Dr. Caroline. With curiosity and confusion, she asks the doctor who she really is and where she has come from. Dr. Caroline explains that when the infection spread across the world, pregnant women gave birth to children like Melanie, hungries of the second generation. Unlike the first wave, these children possess intelligence, the ability to think, and the capacity to connect with their environment. Caroline tells her that Melanie and others like her are humanity's last hope. Through them, she believes she can create a vaccine to fight the parasitic fungus that is destroying the earth. The group spends the entire night inside the shelter. By morning, they prepare to move forward, but outside, countless hungries remain in a dormant, sleep-like state. Melanie volunteers to go down, insisting that she can clear the path. Caroline warns that if Melanie goes, she may never return, since she has no reason to come back. Melanie promises she will, because she wants to be part of them. She descends and discovers a dog inside a house. Bringing the animal among the hungries, its scent awakens one of them. Melanie releases the dog, and soon, all the hungries awaken and chase after it, leaving the path clear. The group moves forward safely. As they continue, they encounter numerous dead bodies of hungries. From these corpses, thick fungal vines emerge, covering an entire building. Caroline explains that this is the next stage of the fungus's life cycle. Within the vines are massive seed pods, which will soon release spores into the air. Once that happens, humanity will be wiped out forever. Nearby, they discover a mobile army laboratory powered entirely by solar energy. They take shelter inside. Hunger gnaws at them, so one surviving soldier volunteers to fetch food and leaves the lab. Melanie, also starving, tells the others that she can sense their scent and needs to eat. She is released and consumes some food. While outside, Melanie hears strange noises and follows them into a house. There, she discovers many children like herself, second-generation hungries. One boy signals to the others, and they all begin to leave the house together. Melanie realizes that these children are heading toward the soldier who went out to find food. They are preparing to attack him. Alarmed, she rushes back to the mobile lab and tells Helen and Sergeant Parks everything. She explains that there are many children like her, and they are about to kill their companion. Meanwhile, the soldier who went out in search of food discovers some cans outside a store. As he enters, he is confronted by a group of children, and they attack him mercilessly, killing him. Melanie and Sergeant Parks arrive soon after, realizing that their companion has been trapped. Melanie warns that this is another ambush, and together they escape. Outside, they encounter the same children who killed the soldier. Melanie steps forward, refusing to let Parks fire his weapon. Among the children is a leader holding a baseball bat. Melanie fights him, cleverly using his own handcuffs to restrain him, and then strikes him with the bat. The other children, terrified, retreat. Melanie saves both Helen and Parks, and the three return to the lab. Inside, they find Dr. Caroline wearing a mask, having released a narcotic gas that renders them unconscious. Caroline intends to remove Melanie's brain and spine to create a cure. But Melanie regains consciousness first. She warns the doctor that she is faster, and if Caroline tries anything, she will bite her, turning her into a hungry. Caroline pleads, saying she can make a vaccine through Melanie, asking if Melanie wants Helen, the one she loves most, to eventually become a monster. Melanie refuses. Caroline insists that Melanie must sacrifice herself. Melanie hesitates but asks one question: "Are we alive?" Caroline answers yes. Melanie realizes that the future belongs not to humans, but to her generation, the hybrids, since humanity is already collapsing and the fungus will soon spread through the air. She refuses to sacrifice herself, telling Caroline to stay inside the lab for safety while she leaves. Caroline follows, but the same children who killed the soldier appear and kill Caroline. Melanie reaches a place where fungal vines grow from corpses, carrying seed pods that will release spores into the air, ensuring the extinction of humans. She sets them ablaze to prevent further spread. At that moment, Sergeant Parks arrives. Melanie asks why he left the lab, since she had locked the door. Parks explains that he came searching for her, but now, with the spores released, the entire area is infected. Parks himself is infected and will soon become a hungry. Accepting his fate, he hands Melanie a gun, asking her to end his life as a human. Melanie honors his request and shoots him. Back at the lab, Helen regains consciousness. She looks outside and is shocked by the transformed world. The next morning, Melanie brings all the second-generation children, those like her, outside the lab. She controls them, guiding them. These children have never spoken to humans, so they know no language. Helen begins to teach them, just as she once taught Melanie: reading, writing, speaking, and the ways of life. The future will not belong to humans, but to these hybrid children, the second generation of hungries. And with this, the journey of the girl with all the gifts comes to an end. Released in 2016, this film carries a powerful message about survival, sacrifice, and the hope that lies in the next generation. With an IMDb rating of 6.6, it continues to spark curiosity and reflection among audiences worldwide. We hope this story touched your heart and kept you engaged till the very last moment. If you enjoyed this cinematic explanation, don't forget to support our channel. Like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more captivating stories from the world of cinema. Your encouragement helps us bring more such narratives to life. Thank you for watching, and until we meet again with another unforgettable tale, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep exploring the magic of storytelling.